Hello and how you doing, and welcome back to Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Carnes, joined here with...
Jumbo Carnes.
And welcome back to Jagoffs, and welcome to our weekly sports episode where we talk about all of the sports news, headlines, articles, and breaking news. And Dad, there's a lot of it this week. I don't know if you saw, but before we get into all that, how's everything going with you?
Everything's going good. How about you?
It is hot as hell outside. I absolutely hate this weather.
Yeah, it's god awful.
No, it's got
air conditioning don't even work right now.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Like, I turned on my AC at home this morning at like 5 a.m. just because how hot I was. It was like 85 degrees when I woke up at 5 a.m. It should not be like that. It should not be that hot.
Not a good time to be Irish and a roofer. That's all I know.
No, I can only imagine. Those poor roofers out there. But we have a lot to talk about today. But before we really get into all that, I want to talk about, just kind of recap what's been going on recently on 2 Jagoffs. You've been helping out a lot behind the scenes. And, Dad, you're going to be pretty busy on camera as well these next couple of weeks. And, something we've been doing recently has been a lot of interviews. Last one, more specifically, I'm talking about is PA State Representative Anita Kulik, which, thank you so much. You're the one that actually helped pull the strings behind the scenes to make that one possible. What did you think about that interview? Nice 32 minutes with Representative
It was
Kulik.
good. There was a lot of content. There was stuff that I would not have known. Like some of the bills she was working on. The one with the umpires, that was kind of cool. If you get a chance, go out and listen to it. About protecting umpires, and it'll go into something happening in the College World Series. I don't know if you saw that.
Do you just want to talk about it now? We haven't planned... I mean, we may as well just cover it real quick if we're already going to bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, Coastal Carolina, first inning, bottom of the first, umpire challenged something that happened at the top of the first and got tossed from the game, and it looked like a bad flop. It looked like he should have been in WWE. The other umpire that fell. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw it, yeah.
They were arguing, and he, did some tumble and roll, and, dude, he didn't hit you.
No. He did. I mean, Kevin Schnall, I get it. He was getting aggravated, and technically, yes, if you're questioning a call in the rulebook, which was put out by the NCAA, there is terms for a ejection. But the fact that they're going to even be suspending him a couple of games going in the next year over this, I mean, that's just a little extreme to me, don't you think?
Well, I think it goes to what she was saying as far as protecting the umpires and the referees. I think that's a direct effect on it because they're making it more strict. If you break the rule, you're going to pay.
Yeah, I get it. I just...
I mean, at the end of the day, they're just people like me and you.
They are just people.
They're just doing a job. So what if you don't like the job?
Exactly, but the whole LSU Coastal Carolina thing, I mean, LSU is one of the best baseball teams out there. Let's not forget, I mean, they've won 8 championships in their career. This is their second out of the last 3 years. Coastal Carolina, they were already agitated just kind of going into this game. They ended up losing 5-2, which gave the series sweep to LSU. But let's not forget there was a lot of emotions going into that game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Gotta be able to control.
they're judge and jury.
Yeah.
Your umpires.
All right. Well, what was your first thoughts when you did see that?
Honestly,
the first initial reaction.
I'm like, why the hell is he falling on the ground? He barely even touched him.
This ain't soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was trying to make it look worse than what it was.
I don't get it.
I mean, listen. That's the coach's job is to argue. The umpire's job is to enforce the rules. I think it's a little harsh, but it goes with what Anita was saying as far as keeping them safe because sometimes it doesn't end there. Like, that ended right then and there. The after effects are going to be fines, suspensions, all that. What she was referring to is that coach waiting for him in the parking lot and it escalating from there. That's what she was alluding to.
Okay. Well, with that being said, talking about the College World Series, I think it's time we can just dive straight into the episode. Dad, I don't know if you've been keeping up or not. Lucas Carey's happened last week.
Yeah, that did okay.
It did okay. There was also a interesting promo that took place. I did not tell you or Mom about it because I did not want to get screamed at and ringed out for. But now that it's officially up and out in public, and it's actually doing really well. It's actually got me some opportunities behind the scenes. What'd you think? What'd you think of that when you first saw your son go through a closet door?
Stupidity at its finest. But I get it. Just make better decisions.
What do you mean make better decisions? I got possibly a rule with the wrestling company out of it, and I got some more guests out of it.
Yeah, well, I'm still your parent. Parent says that was a dumbass thing to do.
Okay.
Me part of the podcast, good for promo.
Good for promo. Don't let Mom hear that.
Well, she ain't listening, so we're good.
All right. Well, yeah, that promo was pretty legit. That was pretty sweet. And let's just say, what if I told you there's another door that we have that we'll be using eventually?
I'll throw Kevin through it.
Okay. The deal. We're doing it. There's the next promo. Kevin's going through a door. You're axed, buddy. Let's move into the NBA Finals, though. That's the headline of this episode because it is finally concluded. Well, we talked about the Stanley Cup Finals already. The Florida Panthers winning against the Edmonton Oilers. Me and you covered that already extensively. How about the Oklahoma City Thunder? They have won in 7 games. Tyrese Halliburton, star of the Indiana Pacers, did go down in that final matchup, which ultimately led to SGA, Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and the rest of the squad winning their first championship under the new name OKC. Of course, they previously won as the Seattle Supersonics, but ever since relocating and rebranding to the OKC Thunder, this is their first championship yet. Dad, me and you went back and forth on this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, you said Pacers in 6. I had Thunder in 6. It ended up being Thunder in 7. What's your thoughts?
Well, first off, they almost did it. Halliburton had a calf injury going into Game 7. He's being criticized publicly right now for playing with a calf injury, knowing the potential risk of a long-term injury or future injuries going with that. He ended up tearing his Achilles tendon, I believe it was in the first quarter. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Apparently whoever's criticized him never played a sport before. They're not an athlete because at the end of the day, if you're in the Game 7, you're not going to give that up.
No.
He may never get a Game 7 the rest of his career. So hats off to him for going and playing. He was trying to do what was best for his team to put them in a position to win. Unfortunately, he got hurt. And I think once he got hurt, that was the game. My opinion. So, had he not got hurt, I don't know. I think they may have had a chance. I mean, it was still pretty close. I think it was 103-91 was the final. But I think it all came down to that injury.
I agree with you on that, but the thing that I'm going to also get on the media for criticizing is the Thunder. I hear too many people out there saying the Oklahoma City Thunder had a cupcake schedule and an easy walkthrough to the championship. I mean, yes, the Denver Nuggets were banged up. Yes, the Timberwolves lost Anthony Edwards. Yes, the Pacers lost a Tyrese Halliburton. And yeah, the Grizzlies first round, I mean, that's pretty much playing that was the worst team in the playoffs this year. So, yes, technically the schedule itself wasn't exactly as tough, but I mean, go back any year in the NBA Finals or any year in the NBA playoffs or any sport for that matter. There's been multiple stars and multiple top-notch players, superstars that matter, who has been injured going into playoff games, going into championship games. So it's not like this is a rare occurrence like, oh no, the Oklahoma City Thunder played teams without their star players. No, this happens all the time. This actually happens more frequently than we think. So that's number one. Number two, let's not also forget the fact that the Thunder were the best team in the regular season all year long. SGA was the MVP for a reason. Now, was he a key contributor in the finals? Honestly, not really. Jalen Williams was the star of the show in Game 7. But at the end of the day, the NBA Finals came down to who was the better team, and that better team was the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if Tyrese Halliburton was there, would it be a different story? That's up in the air still. I personally believe the Pacers could have had the game slightly closer, but in all honesty, I had Thunder all the way for the simple fact that they are young and they are looking for vengeance. Last year, they believed they should have came out of the Western Conference Finals. This year, they did just that. They won the championship. I got to tip my hats to them.
Who picks the schedule?
Who picks the schedule?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, probably Adam Silver, I guess, NBA commissioner.
Okay, so the Thunder has no bearing on their schedule, correct?
I mean, they...
No, somebody picks the schedule for them and they play the games.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Just like when we're talking to the Chiefs and people say, well, they had an easy schedule. The Patriots are an easy schedule. They don't pick the schedule.
Yeah, I agree.
The schedule's put out. They play the games. Period. I hate that argument. I think the bigger story is if you go on social media and you look what happened before Game 7, I guess apparently there was tour buses for a victory parade. Did you see that?
I did see that.
For the Thunder, where they already had the buses saying that they were NBA champions before Game 7 even happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the bigger story. You want to report on something? Let's report on that.
I mean, in all fairness, just to play devil's advocate here,
They probably did it for both teams.
they probably did it for both teams. Because correct me if I'm wrong, in almost every major sport, they make game-winning championship tees and hats for both teams, and then the losing team, they actually donate them to like third world countries where people in need that actually need that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So
I'm gonna see if I can get the Kansas City championship from last year for a three-peat. See if I can get anything. I'm going online.
Now, respectfully, I don't know if they're going to be sending an Indiana Pacers tour bus over to Europe.
I don't want that. I want a three-peat shirt.
You want a three-piece shirt?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it on Chinese website real quick.
Look for a three-piece Kansas City shirt. There's probably somebody out there wearing one right now. Probably one of these.
It might come with the Rona-virus.
There probably is someone out there wearing it. But yeah, no. Well, I just got to tell you that I feel like this is a good topic of comparison now when you think about the NBA Finals. This was a great series, regardless of the injury, regardless of the politics and everything, and all the other factors that went into this. This was still a great series. So my next question to you is: did this just put basketball back on the map? Because for the longest time, football has been dominant. There's no denying it. Baseball started to get some more traction ever since the pitch clock and some of the rules changed. Hockey's always been underrated and has always been electric in the playoffs. The NBA, though, specifically, has always kind of been just lacking behind because lack of effort from players, player politics within the locker room, the whole LeBron argument. There's like a lot of stuff that goes on in the NBA. So would you say this finals and this, honestly, playoffs put the NBA back on the map? Because I think it did.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, teams are gonna want to watch basketball are going to want to watch basketball. Like me personally, I would not care less, like, say, soccer. I don't care if the World Cup's coming. That's just me. I'm not a soccer guy. But there's going to be people that want to watch soccer. And, by the way, I found a three-peat shirt. More importantly.
Where?
I don't know. It says three-peat, Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. It says 2024. It has a list of Super Bowls, 1969, 2019, 2022, 2022, and 23 and 24.
You should just walk around wearing that, see what people say.
I wonder where this is at.
You're going to get a virus from going on those foreign websites.
It says it's a premium Super Bowl shirt.
Premium, all right.
It says it's in China, too. Got the Rona. Comes with a Rona virus.
Oh, great.
Look, there's all kind of three-peats. Look at this. There's all different kinds. Anyways, let's get back to the topic. As far as basketball, yeah, put it back on the map. That's what you need. You need a Game 7. I think the shorter the series, if it would have been a sweep, I think people lose interest in sweeps. I think Game 7s people get... Because there's really nothing going on this time of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to watch playoffs. That's what's going on. Because baseball, you can only watch so much baseball.
Yeah, you can only watch so much baseball. And then, I mean, outside of that, it's really what? Just... It's the College World Series, the WNBA, and...
Yeah, nobody's watching that other football league.
Or the UFL, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's really watching that.
Well, that's over too, but yeah.
I mean, look how many fans were in the stand.
That's true.
I have more at Carlton.
Well, I feel like another reason, my goodness, I can't speak, that this is back on the map is this is the first time that both the Western and Eastern Conference Finals had young players that were there for their first time. I mean, we had the Knicks with Jalen Brunson, we had the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, we had the Thunder with SGA, and we had the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton. So it was all new players looking to make a mark. It wasn't like it was Curry or LeBron or Tatum or Kyrie or Luka or Jokic or Giannis or Durant. It was all new players, and I thought that was pretty cool seeing some new players being able to be in the spotlight.
Well, let's face reality. Nobody wants to see the same teams all the time.
Exactly. That's, I think,
That's why everybody hates the Chiefs.
That's why this year was so unique.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to see the same teams. I'm sure back in the 90s when the Bulls and Jordan were dominant, everybody hated them.
They probably did.
Nobody wanted to see them. I did personally because I was a Jordan fan. I want to see the Chiefs win every Super Bowl. I'm probably a minority of people that want to do that, that want to see that. So...
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess my last question then regarding the NBA Finals for you, Dad, is, I mean, comparing it now to the Stanley Cup Finals. I feel like you can't because the Stanley Cup Finals beats it in almost every category. But what was your personal favorite series this year? Panthers and Oilers to 6 games or Thunder and Pacers to 7?
Well, unfortunately, they don't beat them in one category, and that's viewer ratings. The NBA Finals gets way more viewers than the NHL, which drives me crazy because I got to hear from Al how... There's like 500,000 people that watch the hockey, and then there's millions upon millions of people
watching. Isn't he a
Capitals
fan?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a different issue. But anyways, I mean, they beat him in the ratings. Me personally, I liked watching Connor lose another cup. That's me personally.
So you think the Stanley Cup Finals are better?
Just because I wanted to watch Connor McDavid lose again. That's all. I wanted to watch the Canadian fans cry, and they didn't bring home the gold.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well,
Stays in America.
Well, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I couldn't agree. I think the Stanley Cup Finals are slightly better this year, especially because of the storyline that was going into it. Because there's real no storyline with the Pacers and Thunder. It's just kind of two young teams that's never been there before, and you throw them in there and you see what happens. Panthers and Oilers had history. There's a lot at stake. So
yeah, and the good thing is too. I don't know if you watched any of the parade stuff from the Panthers.
I did not.
They always said that Florida Panthers didn't have any fans. They showed their parade. Like, I love seeing the parades in Pittsburgh because I love our city. But there was nothing like watching them Florida Panther parades because you got the ocean on one side and you got sand on the other side, and here comes the parade down the road. That was pretty phenomenal.
Well, I think we might need to be Florida Panthers fans now.
No, I'm never going to be a Panther fan.
Okay, no Panther fan. Well, there was a name that I mentioned before that I wanted to dive into next, and it's Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players out there. He has now been traded once more. He was originally a Phoenix Sun, now finds himself to be a Houston Rocket. The trade goes as follows. Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, 5 second-round picks, and the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NBA Draft all will be sent to the Suns in return for one being Kevin Durant. Dad, a lot of people look at Kevin Durant as a top 15, top 20 player of all time. What's your thoughts on him now on a new team? New change of scenery for KD.
6 different teams, right? Do I got that right?
Thunder, Warriors, Suns, now the Rockets, the Nets.
Seattle.
Okay, well, Seattle and OKC is kind of the same. But yeah. So
Okay.
5, 6. It depends if you're counting Seattle as its own, but OKC is the relocation of Seattle, so.
All right, well, let's go down real quick on some stats on Kevin Durant's career. NBA championships, he won 2 with the Golden State, 17 and 18. Finals MVP award, 2 times, 17 and 18 with Golden State. NBA MVP award, 2014 with OKC. Scoring titles, 2010, 11, 12, 14 with Oklahoma City. Won a gold medal, 12, 16, and 20. All-star selection, which I hate that one, 15 years.
Wow.
He was got to put on the 75th anniversary team for the NBA. Listen, he's a Hall of Famer.
Easily.
Everything I just said there, first ballot Hall of Famer. Question is, what's he do with his new team? And is that team going to be his biggest test? Because who do they have to complement Kevin Durant?
Mm-hmm.
That's my worry. I mean, listen, they're saying this is going to ruin his legacy. No, it's not. Shut up. You're stupid. Everything I just read, he's in the Hall of Fame. There's nothing ruining his legacy unless he gets caught betting on basketball like Pete Rose did. That would be the only way that he is not going to make it to the Hall of Fame. And now Pete Rose may make it in the Hall of Fame. I think they're looking at that, by the way.
Which he deserves.
Right. So, him going to the Rockets, I mean, my only worry is, who's he going to be playing with?
My fear is also lack of chemistry, because if you look at what is going on with the Kevin Durant trade, every team he's been a part of, there was that 1 or 2 other superstars there. OKC had Westbrook and Harden. The Nets had Harden and Kyrie. The Warriors had Curry, Thompson, and Green. The Suns had Booker and Beal. This is the first real team where there isn't a household name already there. Now, don't get me wrong. They got some young studs. They got Amon Thompson. They got Sengun. They've got Fred VanVleet. They got Jabari Smith Jr. So there's playmakers here that Kevin Durant can spread the court with. But there is not that guy that stands out that you know can go get you 15 and 20 points a game. KD's going to be that guy. But I believe this is a test for KD. See how he can do now in the mentoring role. Teaching the younger players behind him what's right versus what's wrong. A lot of these players are going to try and replicate their game from a Kevin Durant, like a Jabari Smith Jr., like a Amon Thompson, like a Fred VanVleet. So I think him actually coming to this team is going to be great. The trade itself, they gave up a couple second-round picks, 5 to be exact. They also gave up only 1 first-round pick, which I was shocked to only see 1 first-round pick go, that being the 10th overall pick. Jalen Green is a big loss because he was the best player on the Rockets originally, but he had a bit of a scoring issue. So you are losing defense with him, but you're also gaining scoring, so give and take however you want to take that. And Dylan Brooks, I mean, no offense, he's pretty replaceable, so you can kind of bob and weave through that. I think this was a great trade. I think the Rockets are going to pay off with this. Let's not forget that they were a playoff contending team this year. They made the playoffs, lost first round. Now, the question is, can they make it past the first round with KD? Only time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. I mean, listen, he's never, like you said, he hasn't had superstars beside him, but listen, he's still a pretty good basketball player.
He's an amazing, everywhere he's went, he's been efficient.
I mean,
even on the Suns last year, he played 62 out of the 82 games last year, averaged 26 points a game. So he still is the star, and they didn't even make the playoffs.
I mean, my only worry that I seen a word tenure with the Rockets.
Yeah.
You know what that word means. They're expecting to keep him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's 36. He's not young.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if the Rockets plan on build around him. I don't know what their plans are. I guess time will tell. We'll see what they do if they go out and start grabbing people on the free agency market. I mean, the season just ended. You know what I mean? They got a big name going into the offseason. So congrats to them. Congrats to him. I'd like to see him shine because I've always liked Kevin Durant.
All right. Well, now let's move into another trade that just happened. Drew Holiday. He was once a Boston Celtic, once even a Milwaukee Buck. Now he's returning to the team that was originally traded to, but didn't really get to spend too much time with, that being the Portland Trail Blazers. The trade goes as follows: Anfernee Simons and 2 second-round picks in exchange for a 2-time NBA champion, defensive mastermind, Drew Holiday. Now, I will say this. I am a big fan of Drew Holiday. I believe he is going to add a lot to this Trailblazers team. This is a young Trailblazers team. This is a team that really hasn't been in the playoffs, really hasn't been notable since Damian Lillard was last there. Simons is a big loss. Simons brings you height. Simons brings you rebounds. Holiday, he's not really the tallest player out there. He's not really the guy that will go up and snag it for you, but he's definitely a guy that can snatch the ball and turn it over for you. So I see the wins here. You only gave up 2 second rounds as follows as well, so compensation really isn't that much. But at the end of the day, I honestly think this is a solid trade on both sides. Trailblazers get their player back they originally wanted, and the Celtics get someone younger in Simons.
Once again, he's 36.
Yeah.
I mean, good for Boston. They got what they needed out of him. Got rid of him. Good for them.
Got a championship out of him.
Got a championship out of him. Now they're going to get some young guys.
Simons is pretty good, too.
Good business for the Boston Celtics. So, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm hating on him because he's an older guy, but he's just an older guy. In basketball, he's 36. That's an older guy.
So do you think the Trailblazers lost this trade then? Since they gave up a much younger player, someone probably half the age of Holiday, and 2 second rounds? Or I
mean, this goes with, like, we see, like, in football, like a Tariq Hill. You know, everybody bashed the Chiefs for getting that. Got all them young dudes, they won 2 championships.
Yeah.
Tariq Hill did nothing since then. I mean, he had some yardage in that, but I mean, time will tell. Time will tell what is the better deal and who benefited from the trade. I mean, that's unfortunately what's going to happen in trade. Like Kevin Durant, he could go to Houston Rockets and do absolutely nothing, which I personally don't see. Holiday could be the same way, which I personally don't see. But that's when time will tell who got the better trade because of how it made that team better for this time.
Okay. Are you ready to move into the NFL, Dad?
Sure.
I didn't expect that talk about the NFL at all this week, but there was some news that took place on Tuesday on the Pat McAfee show. Good old Aaron Rodgers hinting that this is his final season in his NFL career. First that he's done it actually since he's signed with the Steelers. The quote goes as follows. Quote, pretty sure that this is it. End quote. Dad, what's your thoughts to what Rodgers stated on Pat McAfee? And what's your thoughts, I guess, now on the Steelers going into the season? Because we've been covering them extensively over the last few weeks. I feel like we always have a Steelers conversation when you're on. Now we know Rodgers most likely is playing his last year here. So is this make or break? Is this Super Bowl or bust? I mean, what are we looking at now with the Steelers? Where's the trajectory at?
First off, did you see the interview?
I saw the clips, yes.
So you seen him
I saw the segment of it, not the whole Batman show.
There were some dynamics that he said that wasn't mentioned in that statement. He said that he wanted to come play for an organization like the Steelers, and there was no need for the Steelers to offer him a long-term deal because he thinks this is it. That is the terminology used, something along those lines. Listen, if he told me it was snowing outside, I'm going outside with no jacket on to see if it's snowing because I don't buy nothing he says. He's been full crap for years as far as what he says. So I don't buy it yet. We'll see what happens throughout the season. I truly don't buy it that he's one and done. Because, I mean, what happens, let's just say, they go deep into the playoffs. Like a game or two into the playoffs.
Okay.
Which is where I have them, losing into either in the wild card divisional round. What happens then?
I thought you had him on a losing season. Well, that was with Rudolph.
That was with Rudolph. I told you...
No, you told Lucas.
I told you and Lucas this. If he is the quarterback for the Steelers week 1, they're automatically a playoff contending team, was my words.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if they make it first round or second round, exit, I don't think they're making a championship or a Super Bowl. That's just me personally. But if they make it that far, you think he's going to walk away? As egotistical as that man is, you think he's walking away?
So what, is he going to stay until he gets the Super Bowl? Or, like, what are you saying?
I'm just saying, I don't see him walking away.
Here's the thing.
I don't see him riding off into the sunset.
Here's the thing. I think that Aaron Rodgers is continuously playing with the Steelers organization. He's been doing this ever since the Steelers screwed themselves by not signing a different quarterback or trading for someone. I mean, when the statement that I made was, if you don't sign Aaron Rodgers before the draft, you should not sign him at all. And the reason why I said that is because you need to start building around for the future now. You got rid of a lot of players already. You moved on from both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, which shows that you're trending in a new direction. Tomlin's not going to be there forever. You don't have a running game. You cleared your receiver room and brought in DK Metcalf. Your defense is all banged up. TJ Watt, he might be on his way out the door if you can't find a way to pay him. So the Steelers right now is a mess if you really think about it. They're trying to cover it up, though, with the Aaron Rodgers news to show, like, hey, we actually do have a quarterback. Do you? You have a quarterback that's saying now he's not even going to be there for more than a year now. Yeah, he only signed that 1-year contract, but just because he signed a 1-year contract doesn't mean you're not in line to sign another one later on down the line. With Aaron Rodgers stating that he's pretty sure this is it, though, that's implying that he's done. So I know what you're saying, that he's full of BS, but why would you want that in your locker room? Why would you want to bank on this one season? Is that what the Steelers are really going to do from here on out? Every single year they're going to try and rebrand their team and get a new quarterback every single year until they find one? No, you need to stick with one and you need to develop them. If Will Howard's the answer, then we'll just start Will Howard week 1 at this point. If Mason Rudolph's the guy, just start him week 1 at this point. Why are we toying around playing? Listen, Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenal quarterback. One of the greatest of all time, most athletically gifted I've seen before Patrick Mahomes. But at the end of the day, he is toying with this organization. They're not going to get far in the playoffs. They'll be lucky to get to the wild card. They'll still find a way to get their winning season. But at the end of the day, this is the same old Pittsburgh Steelers. Until they change management, until they change their actions, they're not doing anything. The Bengals are better. The Ravens are better. And hell, at this point, if you put the Browns and Steelers side by side and you say who's going to be better in the next 5 years, you bet your bottom dollar I might be saying the Cleveland Browns. Just by the way they're trading and drafting right now. Aaron Rodgers is toying with this organization, and that quote right there pissed me off.
Okay, let's go back to a couple of things you unwound there. TJ Watt will sign by week 1 with the Steelers, long-term deal. Probably be the highest paid edge rusher.
More than Myles Garrett.
Yes. I think that's
Where are they going to get the money?
Well, they're not going to be able... They ain't paying a quarterback right now. Probably gave him, what, $15 million, $18 million, whatever they gave him.
Did you see what they're paying DK Metcalf, though?
Yes. Anyways, with that being said, Aaron Rodgers, listen, you act like Mike Tomlin has control of the locker room.
I said management, not Tomlin.
Well, it falls on Tomlin, which everybody in the city does not want to understand. Everybody wanted to get rid of Clint Hurdle. Everybody wanted to get rid of Mike Sullivan. We go to say Mike Tomlin's, and oh, God, no, he got a winning season. He's never had a losing season. Listen, he needed to go probably 3 years ago.
I agree.
He should have probably went when Ben went.
I agree.
But until he gets control of that locker room, Aaron Rodgers is just another diva coming in here. That's all he is. He's a diva. He's a quarterback diva. Usually they have running back divas or wide receiver divas. Now he's the quarterback diva. At the end of the day, though, he gives them the best chance to win ball games.
Does he?
Out of that group, yes.
Does he, though? I would have said Russell Wilson might have been, because, I mean, you think
he's
about...
He's not here, though.
I know he's not here.
That ship sailed.
I know that ship sailed. I'm just saying that I feel like they should have tried to bring back a Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. You had 2 quarterbacks who were fully capable of doing that. 2 quarterbacks who aren't going anywhere.
That comes down to...
And they gave up.
Con And Tomlin.
Again, management. They failed the Steelers organization.
Well, then why are they still in the position?
They mistreated Kenny Pickett. Let's just number one. They threw Kenny Pickett into the wildfire, whatever their opinion is on him. They ruined Kenny Pickett before Kenny Pickett even had anything. I'm not saying he would have been anything. We've seen how time will tell past that. But Kenny Pickett was ruined. Mitch Trubisky was their only answer at the time. They believed in Mason Rudolph too much, and they're still believing him again after he proved that he's not capable of being a starting quarterback in this league. They gave up on Justin Fields to bring back Russell Wilson, just to give up on Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the offseason, just all for Aaron Rodgers only coming for a year. Are you kidding me? A year? That's it? You know what this means? This just pretty much means the Steelers are screaming Super Bowl or bust. They're not going to make it to the championship game.
Let me ask you this. What do you think's going to happen, say, week 5?
Say week 5, they're going to probably call to bench Rodgers, knowing Steelers fans.
Steelers are 2-3.
2-3. Oh,
it's Rodgers. It's your quarterback. What happens? They're calling for Will Howard to start.
Probably.
Then they're going to ruin his career.
Then they're going to exactly. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you. That's why I said at this point you may as well just start on week 1 if you're going to give up on Rodgers that fast. I'm not saying they should. I'm just being sarcastic.
I was going to say I don't even think he's NFL ready.
I don't think he's NFL ready at all. I'm shocked he was even drafted, to be honest.
Well, when you screwed up what you screwed up, they were trying to cover their mistakes by not signing Fields, not signing Russell Wilson. I don't know. They were saying that Russell Wilson's toxic in the locker room. Hello, you brought in Aaron Rodgers, so
yeah.
What did you really want?
Let's be honest.
I never one time heard Justin Fields was toxic.
Let's be honest with ourselves for a second, Dad. The Steelers are 0 for 5 with quarterbacks since Ben Roethlisberger retired. 0 for 5. Say what you want about each of those quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett failed. Mitch Trubisky failed. Mason Rudolph failed. Mason Rudolph 1.0 failed because now he's back again. Russell Wilson failed. Justin Fields failed. Do we really see anything in Aaron Rodgers that makes us say, yes, he can take us over the top compared to those 5 quarterbacks? I mean, you can't just say he's a Super Bowl champion. Guess what Russell Wilson is too?
I think he's better than all them quarterbacks you mentioned, even at his age.
That's the thing, though, his age.
I said even at that age.
If this was Green Bay Packers prime Aaron Rodgers, that I would not be arguing with you at all. I'd keep my mouth shut. But this is a completely different Aaron Rodgers.
Do I got to pull out them stats that I pulled out from last episode?
You already brought them up. They're already on the airways. But here's the thing.
Where he threw for almost 4,000 yards and almost 30 touchdowns and 10 or 11 interceptions. He had a better year than Mahomes did last year.
Who is he throwing the ball to? Outside of DK Metcalf, who is he throwing the ball to, Dad? He had Garrett Wilson in New York. He had Alan Lazard, his one buddy. He had Conklin. He had weapons to work with with the Jets. There's no weapons with the Steelers. They don't even have a running game to rely on. They got rid of Harris.
Who do you have with Green Bay? You act like he had superstars then when he first started his career.
I mean, let's not forget Randall.
Green Bay has never, I think...
Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson.
But listen,
I mean, they've had receivers.
I believe they just drafted their first number 1 draft pick as a receiver in like 20 years. This draft, I believe.
No, because they had Christian Watson a couple drafts ago.
Okay, well, they don't really predominantly draft high for wide receivers.
No, they started doing it post Rodgers, which makes no sense. But
correct, and that was always his thing, was they never gave him a top receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never gave him a top receiver, but still, at the end of the day, I'm just saying there's not much to work with the Steelers team. I believe Aaron Rodgers is toying with the Steelers. That's gonna be my quote now. He's toying with the Steelers.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. What do you have him finishing the season as?
Again, they're probably going to find a winning record. They're probably going to still get 9 or 10 wins. They're going to make it to the wild card and be first-round exits. That's probably what's going to happen.
So then it was a success.
They'll get the 6th or 7th. No, it's not a success. Making it to the playoffs and losing first round is not a success.
In Tomlin's world?
In Tomlin's world, it's winning the Super Bowl. In Tomlin's world, it's three-peating like your Kansas City Chiefs shirt. But, success
No, in
is
Tomlin's world is winning record. Don't care what we do after that.
Okay, well, if we're going based on that analogy, then the Steelers did a phenomenal job. But if we're going based off of true logistics here and what actually matters, which is winning a Super Bowl, the Steelers have no shot in hell of doing so.
This ain't the 70s.
This ain't the 70s?
This ain't the 70s.
What do you mean by that? Like Bradshaw?
Just saying they did what it was needed to win a Super Bowl. They're not doing what it's needed to win a Super Bowl.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make. I don't think Aaron Rodgers solves anything. That's all I'm trying to say.
He just puts them in a better position than they've been in since Ben.
Does it, though? You're wasting money. You're wasting a whole year just to get another winning season. This is just a throwaway season.
Wasted what? How many years Ben been gone? 4 or 5?
5. I mean,
okay,
5.
well, they wasted the last 4. What's another season?
That's the issue, though. That's the issue right there, is that they're so comfortable just throwing away seasons. I mean,
Listen. Here's what it is. They're driving the car till the wheels fall off. Tomlin don't care. He's going to be retired somewhere.
let's put ourselves in the shoes, though.
He could care less what happens
Hold on,
when he's leaving behind.
let's put
Just like your Penguins GM did with those stupid ass contracts for the Pens.
Yeah, well, that's Hextall, yeah.
He gave all them bad contracts out. We've been eating the garbage since then. Tomlin's doing the same thing with the Steelers. Oh well.
Let's just say this. If you're a TJ Watt or Minka Fitzpatrick or any of these other star players that's on this team that has given up so much already for this city, why would I want to stick around and waste my time if the Steelers are comfortable and content with just throwing away a season and just getting just barely over the hump? Wouldn't you want to compete for what's greater? Wouldn't you want to be up there with the Bills and the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Bengals competing for championships? At this point, the Denver Broncos are better than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they have a sophomore quarterback in Bo Nix. The Denver Broncos have done a better job at turning around their organization in the last 5 years than the Pittsburgh Steelers did. Just think about that for a second. The Denver Broncos, the team that originally had Tim Tebow, has turned their team around quicker than the Pittsburgh Steelers post Big Ben.
Yeah, because they've had a lot of losing seasons.
Exactly. That's the point that I'm trying to make. If the Steelers weren't so content...
Listen, do you want me to tell you why them athletes will stick around?
Why?
Money talks, bullshit walks.
And the Steelers are full of a lot of it.
They're going to give them the money, they're staying.
Okay. I feel like you're just trying to rage bait me. Do you understand where I'm coming from, though?
I understand where you're coming from, but you're missing the point. The Steelers are the Steelers. That's the modern-day Steelers.
And the modern-day Steelers are never going to win a Super Bowl with
This
this attitude.
isn't the 70s. That's why I said this isn't the 70s. The 70s mentality compared to today's mentality is not the Steeler way that everybody's ingrained to living in this city.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
That's what the point I was making.
I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below about Aaron Rodgers, because this is a whole debacle that's going on. I know we'll probably get the rest of the Jagoff team's opinion on it, because this is a pretty big story here. If Aaron Rodgers really does only come in for a year and then retire, was it all for nothing?
Did Lucas say they were going to have a losing record with him?
No, I think he said they were going to get to like the divisional round like you did, which I think is crazy. I don't think they're the divisional round. Oh my gosh, you're telling me they're going to beat the Broncos or the Bills? I think the Chargers might even be better than the Steelers going in the next season.
Wait. I mean, don't make fun of that, because it's very simple. If the Bengals would have walked into the playoffs, they may have made it to the AFC Championship last year as a wild card, as the worst team in the wild card.
Okay, well,
game.
here's the difference. The Bengals actually have a quarterback and multiple receivers.
I'm just saying, though, you don't laugh at it. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Listen, I want the Steelers to shut me up so badly because I want to see them bring success to this city, but I know Aaron Rodgers damn well, and it's not going to happen.
Listen, me not being a Steeler fan, I'm just giving you my football opinion, and my football opinion is he makes them a better team as to date. With the locker room they have of quarterbacks, they were not going to have a winning season.
And I guarantee you, well, what do you mean winning season?
They were not going to have a winning season with Mason Rudolph at the helm.
I couldn't disagree there, because Tomlin definitely coached him up to at least a winning season. But again,
I don't think he could have.
I feel like the good enough narrative has to come to an end.
Because Myles Garrett would have hit him with another helmet, it would have been over.
Probably. Well, a lot happened over the last couple days. A lot happened this past weekend, and something I wanted to cover with you, which we usually cover on Lucas Carries, but since you're here this week and you were actually in attendance, I feel like me and you should cover it here today. IWC happened this past weekend. It's something that I've been doing ever since January. I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, video production. I've been working camera the last couple of shows. And this time around, we saw a main event where Duke Davis finally ended Bill Collier's reign. Not even just talking about the specifics of the matches, just your overall experience. What did you think of IWC this past weekend?
Did you get booed?
Yes, I got booed by you.
Oh, okay, my fault.
my fault.
Hey, you're at a wet wrestling event. I'll boo you. Everybody's cheering for you. I'm booing you. Everybody's booing you. I'm cheering for you. I go the opposite. I go against the grain. It was a good event. I mean, we went to Thursday night fights, as your mom and sister like to call it, frights. It's not frights. It's Thursday night fights. We went to that. That was pretty cool. 880 Wrestling. It's on YouTube. I recommend you guys subscribe to it.
Hell yeah.
It's a local indie show that's in the South Side. It's in the garage. It's as indie as you could possibly get.
They call it the shop.
They call it the shop. Well, it's a skate shop. That's what it is. It's an old skate shop where they probably do some tricks, and I don't know. I'm not into skateboarding, so I don't know exactly what the terminology is. but it's definitely a good show to go watch. It's free. Hey, if you want to go watch wrestling, I told a couple guys at work they're into wrestling about it. Get to see my son on camera. You're up close and personal. And the good thing about like the indie shows, like IWC and your 880, if you go to a WWE event, an AEW, a Ring of Honor, and a TNA, you may get them if you're in the very front row spending $500 on a ticket. You may get lucky and have one wrestler out of the whole card engage with you. Or you may not. You go to an indie show, if you're sitting in the front row or the back row, if you're loud enough and they hear you, they're engaging with you. And I go with a little thing where I like to, if Austin comes out and he's the heel, as they call it in wrestling, which means he's the bad guy, I'm cheering for him. Everybody else is booing him. I'm cheering for him. And then what's it called when
the face?
The face of the... If the face comes out, he's the good guy. Well, I'm booing him because everybody's cheering for him. That's just me. That's a way to engage. That's what I like to do. And your cousin Jason does it well too. And we got a couple of wrestlers at IWC to engage. And at 880, I tortured, what was his real name?
Clayton King.
Clayton King, I called him Ferret Boy because Austin told me to call him Ferret Boy. At one point, he lost character and looked at me and goes, dude, just please shut up. I said, okay, I will, Ferret Boy. So I recommend going to those live shows because the indie shows are cool because they're not making a lot of money.
Not at all.
And it's just cool to see. It's cool to engage with them. I mean, I like them better than paying hundreds of dollars to watch WWE.
I do too. Honestly.
Because to me, it's more like I'm watching a local guy or I'm watching somebody on the big network, and like I said, they're just not engaging. I'd rather them engage. That's what makes it fun for me. So we got them to engage at IWC and at 880. Even your mom got them to engage, which was pretty cool at IWC. And there was some stuff that happened at IWC that wasn't supposed to. Like the chair on Plummer's back, who's the owner of IWC. He hit him so bad. And he didn't mean to hit him that hard, I don't think.
I don't know.
But Duke is just a huge guy. I mean, I don't know if you know, the listeners know, he's probably all of 6'4", like 280, 290 of muscle. He's just a large individual. Like, he would be a big-ass football player, is what he would be. And Plummer's smaller, I mean, heavier than me, but he's not a big guy. And he got smacked with a chair, and that messed him up. And then he tried to do, I think it was a somersault outside the ring. You got backstage knowledge of this. But he landed on his head. And you can't fake that. I mean, and I think at the beginning of the match, Duke actually went head first into the cage and was supposed to put his hands out, and he missed. Like, his hands didn't get there before his head did and split him wide open. And then anybody that has ever had a head injury, you bleed like a sieve. Like, you just keep bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. So, I mean, I don't know. I like the event. It was a good event. Like I said, I prefer indie shows. If it's me, I'd prefer indie shows. So
I agree. I feel like there's something you're missing, too. What about a friend of the show, Andrew Palace, was there as well?
Oh, yeah. We got to talk to Andrew Palace. That was pretty cool. And so I think it was in his tag team match.
Yeah.
He got thrown. We were second row. And for people that don't watch too much wrestling, there's like an outer barrier that's supposed to be like a railing that's metal.
Yeah.
And then there's
they call it the barricade in wrestling.
And then there's a second row of chairs behind the first row of chairs. That's where we were sitting. We were sitting on the end. Me, your sister, and your mother.
Good seats, by the way. Yeah,
they were real good seats. We got to see Lucas and Kevin. They were real close to us. I think there was 8 or 10 of us total, something like that. But anyways, so when Andrew Palace gets thrown into this barricade, I yell over, "Don't be a Jagoff, get up!" And I said it twice, maybe 3 times. And I was hoping he got it, and he looked and smiled. So then when we went on the intermission, this is another good thing about the indie shows. When they have intermissions, the wrestlers go out and they try to sell their merchandise. You get to meet them. They'll take pictures with you for free. You buy some merchandise, and I recommend buying merchandise because that's how they really make their money. They don't make money on wrestling. They make it on merchandise. But I asked him, I said, hey, did you hear somebody call you a Jagoff? And he goes, I did. He goes, that's why I laughed, which I thought was hilarious. So, I mean, shout out to Andrew Palace. He's a good guy. Made my daughter's day getting a picture with him. So, he's a good dude. I mean, she ended up buying a shirt, got an autographed picture. I think something else, too. I don't know, sticker or something?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. All around, he's a good guy. I mean, there's a lot of good guys and good ladies in that.
Yeah, Victor Benjamin's another one, too.
Yeah, he's a local guy. I'd like to see him come on here. I'd like to hear some of his story because he's a boxer and a wrestler, which is kind of badass. So, I'd like to hear the transition from wrestling to boxing. I mean, because
that's tough.
Boxing's real. You're really hitting somebody. Some wrestling's fake, some of it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Him having that ability to stop from punching you, knowing that he's got a boxer mentality, I would love to hear how he does it. I'm just being honest. Like, so if you can get him on the show, get him on the show.
We're trying.
And that's my question to him. How do you go from pounding somebody in the head in a boxing ring to fake punching them in a wrestling ring? Mm-hmm. How do you... My brain, I don't think, is wired that way. I don't know.
I don't know either. Something to add on about Andrew Palace, too. He was also messing with me during intermission, and Kevin and Lucas, and then I think Bella was right there getting a big picture. Bella was recording the entire time. She was having a blast at both of the shows.
Yeah, it was, like I said, if you're going to go to an indie show, the good thing is the engagement with the wrestlers. It's not like a show. Like, you go to a show, you watch a show, you leave.
Yeah.
There's no interaction at WWE, AEW. Unless you're fortunate enough to get backstage passes or something like that. But even then, though, you're not really talking to them as people. And I don't mean to be rude when I say that, but, like, we went over, we had a conversation with Andrew Palace. We were talking to him, me and him. It wasn't wrestler Andrew Palace and me. It was just me and Andrew Palace talking.
He puts on a little character sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it his character? Is that who he is? I mean, he's...
kind of both, he said.
Yeah, I mean, like I told him, I said I enjoyed the podcast because, you know, he was in character, and he looks at me and goes, I'm not in character. That's just who I am. And I said, that's even better yet. You know what I mean? Like, good for you. You're just a happy person. You know what I mean? Good for you. So, I mean, I recommend indie shows. If we were asking me on the IWC, it's a good one. Fortunately enough, they're paying you to work there, so I would recommend IWC, but don't throw out Thursday night fights.
I know. There's a lot of other companies out there, too, in Pittsburgh. Like, I know Enjoy Wrestling. That's another good one I've been to a couple times. Pros of Wrestling. There's quite a few good ones, and me and Kevin has been trying to explore and go to these different events. And every event I go to, I try and find a promoter and talk to them and make a good impression. So that's kind of what I've been doing recently. But last thing on IWC that we can move into our next topic. What was your thoughts on Duke finally winning the championship? Because Bill has been champion for 931 days. You saw the storyline. Everybody jumped out of their chair when he won. You could see the energy change in the room. What a moment for him if you really know his story.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. I mean, kudos to him. Finally got the gold, per se.
I'll share his story with you off camera because it's a little emotional. I don't know if I want to share it on here.
And I know a little bit about it. I don't know a lot about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, whether it be sports entertainment or any kind of sport that you're into, you're not just into it just to do it. You want to win. Mm-hmm. Period. You want to win championships. That's the ultimate goal. And now he's the champ. Good for him. I mean, give him a clap. I mean, good for him. I mean, I do want to hear his story completely.
Duke's another one. I'll try and get on, hopefully.
Bill, congratulations. I mean, on a pretty long, good career. He's done a lot for IWC. I think big things are in the future for him.
Big things for big time.
Big things for big time.
Next topic that we have, Dad, we can kind of briefly do this one, but I know you have a lot to say about it, actually. Let's talk about the U.S. Open for a second. I briefly covered it last week on Lucas Carey's. You were absent for it, so unfortunately I couldn't get your opinion on it. So I'm not really going to dive into much to this. JJ Spawn ended up winning it. It was at Oakmont. Me and you were there on Monday. We already shared our experience about being on WTAE, being on the news. Just talk about the U.S. Open as an overall experience. You could talk about our trip there. You could talk about the overall experience watching it on television. What was your thoughts? A lot happened.
The trip was awesome. Obviously, first time at a golf tournament. I've always wanted to go to one. Check it off the bucket list.
That's two things I've checked off the bucket list with you now.
What was the other one?
We did Oakmont in Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
Oakmont in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go to one. I'm glad I didn't have to fly to Texas or anywhere to go see one. I'm glad I didn't have to fly to Texas to go witness one. I mean, why not in our backyard? You know what I mean? Why not in Oakmont? Beautiful course, tough course. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, even wins a tournament. I haven't seen that in a while. You know, some of the commentators are complaining, some of the golfers are complaining. At the end of the day, you're making millions of dollars. There's no complaining. There's no crying in sports, in my opinion. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the course is beautiful. The course was tough. They left the rough very rough.
Oh, yeah.
The weather didn't help. You got Pittsburgh weather. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They did their best. We were there Monday. The thing that a lot of people didn't see on TV, I don't know if you remember, there was these guys out with leaf blowers blowing the water off of the course at 8 a.m. 100 of people with leaf blowers.
It's crazy.
It was insane. I mean, they cannot control the rain. You just can't control it. I mean, look what happened Sunday. The one green was almost underwater. I mean, but hey, guess what? You're making millions of dollars. You're supposed to adjust. I mean,
we also met 3 golfers, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I think Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth,
Grant Horvat.
Victor Hovland, and Grant
Horvat,
yeah.
Yeah. We also saw Scheffler.
Yeah. Victor Hovland, though, that bothered me. He didn't stop and talk to them kids. That still bothers me because I thought in golf they had to, but I mean I don't know the ins and outs of that. That drove me kind of crazy. I was pulling for him.
Thomas was really cool though.
Yeah, I don't know if did I share that part of the story with Thomas. So we go to the 18th green. Yeah, I'll do it again real quick. So we go to the 18th green. You cut your promo there. We were standing there, and I said, hey, the golfers are coming in. Let's just watch them finish up 18. And where we were standing is the catwalk to go over to the clubhouse. So they don't have to go directly in front of the fans. It's like they're away from the fans, blah, blah, blah. So Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, they were playing together, and I forget who they were playing with. They finished up. We got a picture with Jordan Spieth, and then Justin Thomas come over. We get a picture with him. And then as he was walking up the catwalk, there was all these kids underneath the catwalk and like near the clubhouse. He signed all their autographs, and he got to a certain point where he couldn't sign autographs anymore because he couldn't reach them. And they were asking him, and he said, I'll be right back. Classic line, they're not coming back. He came back and signed autographs for another 20 minutes. Do you remember that? Stand-up guy. I respect the heck out of that. He's a man of his word. I was pulling for him in the tournament just based on that alone, what I saw personally. But, you know, unfortunately, it was a tough course.
Oakmont beat out everybody.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if you seen some of the way they were acting. And the one that really comes to mind is Hatton. Guy with the beard, had a ball cap on. There was one, I think it was on 15 or 16. There was 2 bunkers there, sand traps. He was on the one bunker, and he hit it. He's a pro golfer. He should have landed in the fairway. He went from one bunker to the other bunker. And he started beating his club off the ground.
I would have too.
Like Happy Gilmore. I mean, it looked like Happy Gilmore. And then, you know, which is fine. I mean, hey, frustration sets in. I get it. You know what I mean? You break a club, you throw a club. I get all that. But the one that I didn't like that I saw Hatton do was he chipped something and it didn't go nowhere. It may have went like 10 foot or whatever. Well, the caddy had a towel in his hand and he snatches the towel from the caddy's hand, and I thought that was classless. But, I mean, other than that, it was a tough course. And J.J. Spawn.
J.J. Spawn.
If you didn't get to see it, he sunk a 64-foot putt to win the U.S. Open. I don't know if you understand the magnitude of that putt.
That's like a Hail Mary in football.
The magnitude of that putt was $2 million.
Wow.
First place got $4.3 million. Second place got $2.3 million. So that 64-foot putt earned him $2 extra million for his family. Congratulations. He drained it. I don't want to say that, he read the green. I mean, there's a little bit of luck probably in that too.
Yeah.
I mean, 64-foot putt is very far.
Very far. And I think that was a great way to end off it too. And I said this on Steel City, and I said it last week on Lucas Carey's. I'll say it again here. I think this year's U.S. Open was probably the best, and this is as someone who doesn't look at golf, and maybe you can agree with me, maybe you can disagree with me on this. I would say with just how different it was and how unique it was being in Oakmont, I would say this has been arguably one of the best U.S. Opens since maybe a prime Tiger Woods day, question mark? Would that be not a bad statement to throw out there?
It's up there. I mean, the good thing is when J.J. Spawn won, they took the camera to him. He was very appreciative of his caddy, which is probably a friend of their family or somebody in his relative or something. I don't know who they all picked. But anyways, he literally cried.
Aww.
He literally cried when he made that putt. He went over to his family, greeted his family. He waited till the other guys were done putting because that's customary in golf. Shake their hands, take your hat off, shake their hands. Thank them for playing with you, blah, blah, blah. But he went over to his family and he cherished the moment. You know what I mean? Even when he was back and he was signing his card is what they do when they win a golf tournament. They have to sign their card. And he was still choked up. So, yeah, I agree. I think it was one of the better Opens because it was a guy well-deserving of an Open. Not that the others aren't. But, his reaction and everything, I just think it played into Pittsburgh. He's an emotional guy. Good for him.
Of course. Well, shout out to J.J. Spawn. Shout out to the U.S. Open. What a great tournament it was. And I think we can move into our final topic of the episode, Dad. This one's not really... We're not going to spend too much time on it, but I don't know if you saw this clip or not on social media. Jamar Chase was on a commercial airplane and on a commercial flight, and there was a fan that was asking for an autograph. Jamar Chase politely declined, and the fan ended up pretty much blowing Jamar Chase's cover, stating that he was on the flight. Say bye on your way out the gates. I'll be honest with you. At the end of the day, yes, it's Jamar Chase. Yes, he's a celebrity. Yes, he's one of the best football players in the league right now. But he's not entitled to give you an autograph. It's not a meet and greet. I mean, yes, just give it to him real quick, sign it, and get it over with, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's not like you owe him anything. Like, I don't know why the fan had to be so entitled and to blow his cover. I feel like that was just a douchey move, if you want the honest truth. But my real question is, why the hell is Jamar Chase flying commercial with that new $112 million guaranteed contract? Shouldn't he be on a private jet somewhere or something?
At least first class.
That's what I'm saying. At least first class.
Bro, spend the extra $100. What's wrong with you?
You're making so much money.
I don't feel sorry for him. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for him. He chose that life. That's what comes with that life. Any famous person will tell you, once you become famous, you no longer can have privacy.
Yeah, privacy's gone.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It just comes with the job. You got $112 million, sign a goddamn autograph, for Christ's sakes.
Right.
I mean, if you signed the autograph, it's over and done with. I mean, what if there was a kid there? Would he have not signed it still?
I don't know about that.
I mean, I'm just saying, though, like, at the end of the day, he had his hood up. I don't know if you saw the video. He got his hood up, and he's, like hiding. Okay, well, guess what? He asked you for an autograph. One guy noticed you. Sign one autograph, get him away. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Guy never says nothing, you never get noticed, you riding coach. You didn't. You got exposed. I don't feel bad for you. Sorry, I don't.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean...
But if that was a Kansas City Chiefs receiver, would you feel a different way?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, just asking. Just wanted to clear air in the room.
I mean, listen, if the guy was being a dick, he just said, hey, everybody say goodbye to Jamar Chase. He didn't start bashing him or anything. He just said, hey, everybody say goodbye to Jamar Chase. I remember when I seen Tony Braxton at the airport, I was like, Tony Braxton! I yelled to her. I was like a, you know what I mean?
Like a fangirl.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, whatever. It is what it is. You're famous. I don't know. I don't feel sorry for you. Do you think should I feel sorry for him when I'm paying my light bill that's $400 a month and he doesn't have to pay a light bill?
I guess not.
You know what I mean? He's making $112 million. You know what I mean? I don't feel sorry for him. Sorry, I don't. I don't think he feels sorry for me about my bills either.
Nope. Well, Dad, thank you so much for coming on the podcast as always. Thank you for covering all these different topics in the sports world, NBA Finals, World Series, College World Series. Making a lot of noise over there. My gosh. College World Series, U.S.
Putting all of
Open.
Lucas's papers in the garbage.
All right, Aaron Rodgers. But before we end off today's episode, I just want to say there's a lot of content coming out recently. 2 Jagoffs has been pumping. I've been doing bonus content on my YouTube channel recently. Steel City Commuters, how about that? You'll be on there pretty soon. What do you think about all the different content that's coming out?
Nicholas Brown, I think when we do, it's good. I mean, all the content's good. But I have a feeling when I go on Steel City Commuters that Nicholas is going to make it real political.
Political?
I have a bad feeling.
Well, I mean, political in what sense?
Just be prepared, listeners.
Okay, well,
I think he's going to come at me with the politics.
I don't know what he has prepared. I know one question he's going to ask you, which is a football question, so I'm not going to reveal that one. But I feel like you already know the answer. What the question
Yes,
is.
I do not like the Steelers. Nicholas Brown.
Well, he's not. He doesn't either, so you don't got to worry.
And yes, I don't believe your Cowboys are going to make it to the playoffs.
Well, he thinks they're going to the Super Bowl, but that's a different story for a different day.
So does Matt. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. Matt, Nick. That's some damn Cowboys fans for you. Like, they think they're going to the Super Bowl every year. At least I'm a Cardinals fan. I know we're barely going to make the playoffs or just miss it.
They're not realists.
They're not, no. Well, they're Cowboys fans.
I mean, listen, as long as Jerry Jones involved, you're never going to go anywhere.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Well, Dad, I'm going to give you the final words. Was there anything that you would like to leave with you listeners, the 2 Jagoffs?
I think we covered pretty much everything other than, hey, go out and support the Pirates. They're on a 2-game win streak right now.
Against the Rangers? Isn't it against the Rangers?
They won one against the Rangers, I think one against the Brewers. So I think they're like 32-48 or something. Hey, they're climbing out of the basement.
Pathetic.
They can only go up from here.
Yeah. Yeah, up more on that losing record that they're going to have.
I'm still going to be a Pirate fan, even after they're under 500 end of the season.
I unfortunately will be too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to yet another episode of 2 Jagoffs. Make sure you go follow all of our social media platforms. Go check out the Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X, where we have bonus content every Tuesday and promos every Thursday and Sunday. New episodes of 2 Jagoffs every Thursday on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast, as well as Sundays, where we have a brand new guest on every single week. It is now Interview Sunday. Last week was PA State Representative Anita Kulik, and this Sunday may or may not be a 7-time award-winning producer, so definitely stay tuned for that one. Until next time here on 2 Jagoffs, we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.